In the spring of 6 years ago, two hearts found each other, dancing to the rhythm of a love so profound. It was the kind of connection that felt like a familiar melody, a song that played in the background of our lives, drawing us closer with its enchanting tune. We were a pair of dreamers, her and I. We shared a vision of a future where we would build a family, a haven of love and laughter. We were two peas in a pod, enjoying the sweet symphony of love that serenaded us day in, day out. We cherished our shared dreams, our shared ambitions, and most importantly, our shared love for each other. However, life is a maestro of unexpected melodies, and it wasn't long before the rhythm of our song changed. The sweet symphony of love was interjected by the drumbeats of an unexpected pregnancy. It was a surprise, but it was the kind of surprise that felt like the missing note in our love song. The news brought with it a whirlwind of emotions, fear, excitement, and uncertainty. We had always spoken about having a family, but we never imagined it would come so soon. But as the reality of the situation sank in, we had long conversations deep into the night about our future. We knew the road ahead would be challenging, but we made a pact. A pact that no matter what happened between us, our child's well-being would always be our top priority. Our love, our commitment was not just for each other anymore, it was for this tiny, beautiful life growing inside her. As the dawn of 2020 approached, our lives were blessed with a tiny miracle, our angelic little girl. She was perfect in every way, and we were completely smitten. Our lives were forever changed, and we eagerly embraced this new chapter, unaware of the tempest that was brewing in the horizon. 3 months into our parenthood journey, a chilling winter wind blew, uprooting the tranquility of our lives. We were still basking in the joy of our little angel when the unthinkable happened. One evening, while I was working late, an unexpected text from my mother pierced through the quietude of the night. It was my girlfriend. She'd left our daughter with my mom and vanished, leaving behind a gaping void and a note. Her note spoke of her inability to handle the stress of the lockdown and the baby, of her need for solitude to clear her head. She urged me not to call and promised that we'd talk soon, but soon never came. Her words, once a source of comfort, now echoed in the silence of our home, a chilling reminder of her absence. In the wake of her disappearance, life took on a surreal quality. The days were a blur of feedings, diaper changes, and sleepless nights. It was a struggle, yes, but every gurgle, every smile of our little girl was a salve on the wound left by her mother's departure. My ex-girlfriend's sister became an unexpected ally during this time. She visited often, her presence a comforting balm, but she never spoke of my girlfriend, her silence mirroring the one that had taken refuge in our lives. As I navigated the labyrinth of single parenthood, I clung to the promise we'd made to each other. Our child's well-being would always come first. And so, despite the storm raging within me, I soldiered on for our little girl. Her laughter, her innocent eyes, they became my sanctuary, my strength. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, with no sign of return. The woman who'd once been my partner, my confidant, had become a memory. Her absence a melody that played on an endless loop in the soundtrack of our lives. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe at the end of the video. We appreciate your support. 3 years later, like a forgotten melody, she started to echo in our lives again. The silence of her absence was replaced by the faint whispers of her presence. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly, a like here, a comment there on photos of our little girl on Instagram, a digital footprint that started to tread lightly on the pathway of our lives. This was not the grand re-entrance I had imagined. Instead, it was a quiet, almost timid, resurfacing, a hint of her existence trickling back into our world. And then the inevitable happened. The text message, her words floating on the screen of my phone, asking if we could meet up. I could feel the knot in my stomach tighten. She had seen how well our daughter and I were doing, she said. She wished to see our little girl. My heart pounded in my chest as I read her words. An internal battle began to wage within me. There was a part of me, the part that once loved her, that wished to give her a chance for our daughter's sake. But then there was another part. The part that remembered the pain of her departure, the part that lived through the heartbreak of her absence, the part that picked up the pieces and built a life for our daughter, in spite of everything. I was reluctant. I remembered the vows we had made that our child's well-being would always come first. But how could I trust her? How could I forgive her? for walking out on me, and more importantly, on our daughter. My mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, questions, doubts, and fears. I was torn between the past and the present, between anger and forgiveness, between protecting my daughter and giving her the chance to know her mother. As I grappled with my emotions, I decided to seek professional help. In the sanctuary of trust and understanding, I poured out my fears and insecurities. The therapist's office became a haven, a place where I could unravel the knots of confusion and doubt. I spoke of my ex, the shock of her return, and the unease her new partner stirred within me. But the heart of our conversation, the nucleus of my concerns, was my daughter. The therapist, with his years of experience and understanding, leaned back in his chair and asked me a simple question. He asked me to think about what I was truly afraid of. Was it my ex's return, or was it the effect she might have on our girl? I had to admit that ultimately, my fears were rooted in the potential pain my daughter might experience. She was the innocent party in all of this, and the thought of her being hurt was unbearable. He then said something that struck a chord. Kids get hurt. They fall, they scrape their knees, they cry, but they also learn from their experiences. They grow stronger, just like my little girl had grown stronger with every tumble and setback she'd faced. He reminded me that although I couldn't always protect her from the world, she knew I was there for her, always. When it came to my fear of my ex turning my daughter against me, he noted something crucial. There had been one constant in my little girl's life since the day she was born: me. I was her rock, her safe place. I was the one she sought out when she bumped her head at her uncle's birthday party, amid a room full of relatives. This realization grounded me. I decided to let my ex live her life. When my daughter was older, I would let her decide if she wished to reach out to her mother. It was a decision based on trust in my daughter's wisdom and resilience. In the meantime, I decided to focus on securing sole custody, leaving the past where it belongs. As the gavel of justice waits to fall, so does my heart, hopeful yet anxious. We're on the cusp of a moment that could define the rest of our lives. An upcoming family court hearing is the next chapter in our story, a story that has seen love, heartbreak, and resilience. Preparations for the hearing have been exhaustive. Papers have been filed, lawyers consulted, and endless hours spent poring over the details of the past 3 years. The legal jargon can seem overwhelming at times, but every word, every clause, every paragraph serves a purpose: to secure the best future for my daughter. The anticipation is a constant companion, an echo of the uncertainty that has marked recent years. But there's a sense of resolution in the air too, a feeling that we're nearing the end of a long, arduous journey. It's not just about the legal outcome, it's about closure, about finally being able to turn the page. In the midst of all this, there's a spark of hope that flickers stubbornly. Hope for a favorable outcome, for a future where my daughter grows up knowing that her father fought for her, that her well-being was always his priority. Hope that, in the end, justice will be served. There's a quote that says, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are." And I can't help but think that it's true. This isn't just my fight, it's every parent's fight. It's a fight for the rights of a child to be loved, cared for, and protected, regardless of the circumstances. Despite the anxiety, there's a strange sense of calm. The calm before the storm, perhaps, or the acceptance that we've done all we can and now it's in the hands of the court. It's a sobering thought, but also a liberating one. As the courtroom doors loom ahead, I can't help but wonder, will justice prevail? Will our lives finally find the peace they deserve? Amidst the whirlwind of emotions, one thing remains certain. No matter the outcome, I'll always be there for my girl, her rock, her constant, because that's what fathers do.